Today I'll show you a killer golf psychology technique that you can use to train your brain for peak performance on the course. Hey there, Renegade Golfers. As you know, here at Renegade Golf, we train our bodies in many different ways to not only survive, but actually to thrive in this obsession of a sport that we call golf. And that's all well and good. But as you probably also know, a lot of your performance and success on the course has to do with your mental emotional state. So to that end, today I'm going to show you one of our favorite golf psychology hacks that you can use to elicit whatever positive mental emotional state you desire, regardless of the circumstances externally. Meaning that you can elicit a positive emotional state when you are facing one of your nemesis holes on your home course, the tight fairway over water, etc., etc. This can come in very, very useful on the course and actually in life as well. So we're going to look at this now. Okay, so this technique is called anchoring. It comes from the world of neuro-linguistic programming, or NLP. Now, if you're like myself, you may have heard of NLP or been exposed to some of the techniques in the late 80s, early 90s. We're talking about cassette tapes, really, back that far, with Tony Robbins, who's still doing it today. So Tony brought a lot of the NLP techniques, or at least some of the best NLP techniques, to the mainstream populace, which was fantastic. He was able to use them to coach all kinds of everyday folks to elite athletes. So there's a lot more to NLP than what Tony has described in his programs, and if you're interested, I would say it's worth the invested study in further aspects of NLP. But today, I'm going to show you one that is simple yet very, very effective. It's called anchoring. Now, anchoring, you can think of it in terms of classical conditioning, stimulus response, Pavlov and his dogs, right? So Pavlov, if we'd feed his dog, he'd ring the bell. He'd feed the dog, he'd ring the bell. He'd ring the bell, feed the dog, etc. Back and forth that way. So that when he then rang the bell and didn't feed the dog, which is kind of a bastard move, the dog salivated. The dog was hungry, it expected food. He actually was able to create a mental, emotional, physiological response within that poor animal. So we're going to do the same sort of thing on ourselves for something that is far cooler than making ourselves drool, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use this as a way to elicit whatever mental, emotional state you like, a positive one, I assume, on the golf course, regardless of the circumstances. So how this works is we're going to first have you choose an anchor. Now, an anchor can be anything you want. However, it is best if it is unique. You don't want to set an anchor, something you do all the time. It will be minimally effective at best. So what you want to do is choose an anchor that's unique. I'm going to choose a motion of tapping my index finger knuckle with both fingers here 2 times. So 1, 2. That's going to be my anchor. I will explain why in a moment. I do like using the knuckles, but you could actually use anything you want. You could even twist your nipple if you wanted to. It might look funny on the course, but you could do it, assuming you don't do it all the time. So we're going to first take an anchor, double knuckle tap of the index knuckle, and then we're going to pick a state we want to be able to attach to that. So let's say confidence, which is of course a big one that every golfer wants to have and be very valuable in a lot of situations. So what we want to do is we want to get ourselves into that state. This is like Pavlov feeding the dog, right? So what we want to do is we want to feed our sense of confidence. We want to imagine or invoke from the past situation where we felt really confident. We want to breathe that way, move that way. Now, some people may say they have a problem. Maybe they don't consider themselves to be very confident people and don't know what from the past to choose in order to elicit this sense of confidence. If that's the case, you can always choose somebody that you know that you think has the kind of confidence you'd like to have. You can choose Tony Robbins if you want, but you can choose any of your favorite golfers that seem to exude a sense of confidence regardless of what is happening around them. How do they talk? How do they move? So I would encourage you to do as much as you can to elicit this sense of confidence in yourself, both imaginary and physically. Pound your chest, if so be it, right? It's all good. So as we get ourselves worked up into confidence, we go ahead and we set the anchor. We double tap. We double tap. All right, we come back down a little bit, take a few deep breaths, walk around. Again, elicit that state of confidence. Build it up as strongly as you can. and set the anchor when you're peaking within that state. That's the key. When you're peaking with that feeling of confidence, that's when you set the anchor. Now, I would recommend doing this numerous times, 10, 12, or more times. For the most part, the more you do it, the better, as long as it's done with vigor. Okay, so now we've set that anchor. Now we can test it out. Now, I wouldn't recommend testing it first on the course, with your club championship. Instead, we can test it in everyday life. So after you've worked on this, say in the mornings of really setting the anchor, trying to get it ingrained, in the afternoon, when you're having lunch, no real reason to feel confident or anything, go ahead, test it out, hit your anchor, activate it, and see what comes up. See if you can get that feeling arising in your body through the anchor technique mechanism here, which you've chosen as your knuckle. If it does come up, fantastic. If it doesn't evoke it enough, you can just go back to the drawing board and keep reintegrating that anchor with that emotion. Keep working on it. You can always make an anchor stronger, so you're not going to do any harm working on it more and more and more. The idea, of course, would be that when you tap that anchor, you're going to feel the emotion and the psychological state of confidence. Very valuable and pretty cool. Now, the reason I like using the knuckles, and I cannot remember, this could have been a Tony Robbins thing. It's been a long time, like I said, cassette tapes. But using the knuckles is fantastic because what you can do is you can, what we call stacking anchors. So let's say there's another emotion you would find valuable in the course, say being calm and relaxed. That's pretty cool, right? So you could actually make your middle finger knuckle calm and relaxed. Follow the same protocol. Get yourself into a very, very relaxed state and do whatever you need to do in order to get that state. Set your anchor. Set it again. Rehash it. Keep working on that anchor. Test it out. See how it feels. Is it evoking enough of the state that you desire? Then you can stack the anchor, literally, by hitting both at the same time, right? Calm, yet also confident. Very valuable stuff in the course. And you could do all your knuckles, all different kinds. You could have the ring finger knuckle be gratitude and appreciation, whatever you would want it to have. You could have them be killer instinct, right? Killer instinct, and yet you're calm. You can combine and stack these anchors to create the physical, emotional, mental states you want on demand, regardless of the environment. That's cool, right? All right, guys, there you have it. My cool NLP for golf hack for creating instant mental, emotional state change. If you like this one, you might want to consider checking out our entire product and our entire system, RenegadeMentalGolf.com. You can check that out. I'll also put a link down below. It includes more NLP techniques, as well as a vast array of hypnosis sessions to do with golf and energy psychology. So be sure to check that out. And then if you want, also be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's right down there in the bottom left-hand corner. You don't want to miss any of these types of videos. Okay, so until next time, let's train our brains and get after old man par.